Hello everyone, it's Raza Von Werder, aka Kelly Everts, speaking about my life, giving various anecdotes and bits and pieces of things I lived through in my personal, private life. A lot of it centers right now on my mom and my wicked mom and my torturer brother Jimmy. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story of me getting expelled from school. How I finally got out of mom's house. Which could have been salvation, but it didn't turn out that way. It was salvation partially. From her anyway. Okay, now, I began, the abuses that they were putting on me, my mom and her confederates, they were preying on my mind. They were draining my mind so that I wasn't able to concentrate in school and do my homework. My mind would just blank out, I remember going home and saying, oh, thank heavens, I have no homework. And then when I got to school the next day, I realized I did have homework. My mind just blanked out from the mental, emotional tortures that mom and her bosom buddies put upon me. It was like this, like every day during years, it went on for 6 years of abuse. Every day I got up and I faced in my own house the people around me. I faced they either ignored me completely or were abusive to me, one or the other. There was never a kind word, a compliment, nothing empowering. It was always bad. Every day. The vibes. You know how people give you the evil eye? You know, imagine if you went to work and someone hated you every day and they gave you the evil eye. All they have to do is look at you and you feel the vibration. You feel the energy. So this is what they did to me. When they looked at me, noticed me, spoke to me, and they never spoke to me, like to have a conversation, a chat, or anything. It was only hate, 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 and try to make other people hate me. So when we lived in Middletown, I had access, like I said before, I had access to buses and walking. You know, it was a suburb. It wasn't in the country. So in the country I couldn't get anywhere. Plus I couldn't go anywhere because I always had to take care of the baby in the house while my mother worked. And my mind, I couldn't concentrate. Some things I'm so good at that I didn't have to concentrate. Anything to do with literary or artistic, or the only subject that I just couldn't cut it was mathematics, because to me I didn't like it, and so I practically failed in that. And I didn't do my homework, and I was playing hooky. I was playing hooky with my girlfriend Carol, and we used to go places, meet guys. You know, some old men that took us on a yacht somewhere, and the guidance counselor, the one that would, you know, verbally beat you up if you played hooky or anything, his name was Mr. Wright. So we go to this one old guy, we go, what are we going to tell Mr. Wright? He go, tell Mr. Wright he's wrong. We didn't do sex with these guys. I just remember one day we hung out with them, and then another day we did this, and another day we did that, and one day I had a little money. I had 40 bucks. Well, 40 bucks back in 1960 was like 400 bucks today. So one day I had saved it up in my bank, and so one day she and I, the girl, we decided to go somewhere, do something. So we got a taxi, and we said stop at the bank, and I got my money out of the bank, the $40, come out, and we're trying to plot where we're gonna go, what we're gonna do, and it was a school day. It was a school day. This guy was in cahoots with the school. We didn't know him. He was friends with the school and the police. And he drove us to the police station for playing hooky. Now, they used to call my mother in a couple of times, and she would go into the school and give them her cock and bull story about what a wonderful woman she was, and she raised these children all by herself. She was deserted by her husband, and she slaving away, and I was out of control, and I was no good. And yeah, I was no good. I did the house cleaning, the ironing, fed the animals, babysat, did everything in the household while they all worked and made money. I was not allowed to work. When we lived in Middletown, they didn't need my slave labor anymore because the child I took care of was already old enough to be by herself. There were no animals. The house was beautiful and clean. You don't have to constantly clean it like a dirty old farmhouse. I guess they did the ironing themselves. Somebody else, I don't remember what happened with the dishes anymore. I just don't remember. Maybe they did them finally themselves, because I wasn't sitting at the table with them, so why should I do the dishes maybe? I don't know. I don't remember. So, to make a long story short, because of all this crazy stuff, you know, the guy drove us to the police station because we were playing hooky. I got expelled. When I got expelled from school, then they always believed in education. So my mom decided that I could now be released, and she's going to let me go live with my dad. In fact, she told my dad, I guess, I'm not sure, I didn't hear the conversation, but somehow I was told I'm going to live with my dad. So, fine. That's in New York, in Brooklyn. So, I'm on the bus now. I'm on the bus. And I got my suitcase and ready to go. And my mother flags down the bus right in front of the house. Gets on and tells the driver she's getting off. Me, I'm getting off the bus. I go, no, she isn't. She's going. And I left. And I found out later why. And there's only one reason. Money. Money. After I was released and I was already on the bus and he figured I was on my way, they couldn't stop me. My dad told my mom, oh, well, I'm not paying the mortgage. If Roz is not in the house, I'm not paying the mortgage on your house anymore. See? So my mom was the biggest liar, and she said he contributed nothing, which was a total lie. He paid the mortgage. So he told her, now that Roz is coming, he had no other child of his own. There was another child, but she had a different father. He said, not paying the mortgage. So she tried to get me to get off the bus to get the mortgage money out of him. But I stayed on the bus and went to live with my dad. And some of the things were nice, but I'll explain that later. A lot of things happened. Some good and some horrible. Very horrible. Which we'll get into again. See you next time.